Thanks Nintendo for sponsoring this video. In Pokémon Legends ZA, we have the opportunity to explore Lumiose City all over again. Lumiose City is in the Kalos region, a region home to powerful Mega Evolved Pokémon, trendy fashion, and of course, intense battles. The first time I explored Lumiose City in Pokémon X and Pokémon Y, I was new to competitive battling. But over the years, I got better and better at it, and now it's kind of my whole deal. With Pokémon Legends ZA for Nintendo Switch 2, I have the opportunity to not only explore this new modern Lumiose City, but also try out a whole new way to battle. Pokémon Legends ZA introduces a brand new real-time battle system, which incentivizes on-your-feet decision-making and quick thinking. Rather than worrying about accuracy in PP, now Pokémon's attacks have various startup times and cooldowns. See an attack coming towards your Pokémon? Well, you have a few options now. You could switch into another Pokémon to take the hit, protect, or try using a move like Fly, Bounce, or Dig to avoid it and retaliate. That's right, Fly, Bounce, and Dig can now be used reactively to avoid attacks. With this brand new battle system, there's new strategies to explore and decisions to make. And the online ranked battles are a whole new experience as well, where 4 trainers face off in a chaotic battle royale. So with this brand new frontier of battling in the game, I wanted to share my experience learning the ropes and climbing from rank Z to rank A. Lumiose is a huge sprawling city with wild zones everywhere. After exploring every corner of the city, I found new Pokémon that I think would make great additions to my team. First off, of course, a new game set in the Kalos region would have to have brand new Mega Pokémon. In my journey through the game, I found quite a few that caught my eye. Mega Malamar was a Psychic Dark type that had access to some powerful attacks like Night Slash and Close Combat. Mega Dragonite is a powerful Dragon type who can use Draco Meteor to rain huge damage on many opposing Pokemon on the field. But the one that really caught my eye was Mega Hawlucha. It may not be as mesmerizing as Mega Malamar or physically imposing as Mega Dragonite, but Mega Hawlucha is a scrappy fighter who just seems right for a climb through the online ranked mode. I saw quite a few Hawlucha on the rooftops of Lumiose, so I think that's a good place to look. Okay, so first things first, I want to go ahead and get myself a Hawlucha. Mega Hawlucha is one of the most exciting Pokemon that's been revealed for the game in the trailers, and I want to make sure I'm taking full advantage of that because Mega Hawlucha just looks so cool, and I want to see if I can use it to reach rank A. I know I can find a Hawlucha over here. I just have to climb up to these rooftops, and there should be one. That being said, I want to try to get an Alpha Hawlucha specifically, because it looks like when Alpha Pokemon use moves, it seems to be a little bit easier to land hits on the opponents. There we have a Hawlucha, but that is not the Alpha. So we're going to go ahead and try to reset this area over and over again until we end up getting that Alpha Hawlucha. Looks like it's a Pidgey now. Oh, there it is. Alpha Hawlucha. Let's see if we can make our way over there. Let me make sure I have the right Pokemon for the job here. I'm going to say that if I want to take on Alpha Hawlucha, I'm going to want, well, first of all, an electric type, but I don't know if he's high enough level. I suppose we can go with this Delphox. Delphox should be strong enough to take on Alpha Hawlucha, right? Hey, we can even use the Mega. Okay, let's see if we can manage to sneak up on it so we can paralyze it before we have to start the fight. Oh, no, looks like it already noticed us. All right, let's go for that Thunder Wave. I have to be careful not to get hit by anything. All right, it is paralyzed now. Let's go ahead and switch into our Delphox, and we'll try to Mega Evolve here. Avoid getting attacked by this guy too much. Go for the Psychic, and we should be able to catch it. Let's go with a Fastball. Nice. All right, well, we've caught the Hawlucha. Let's check out what we got. A big reason I wanted the Alpha Pokemon was because all the Alpha Pokemon actually come with a maxed out HP stat, which is really useful. And looking at the stats here, it's got very good HP, very good attack, decent defense, best speed, best special defense, best special attack, and a naive nature. So we will have to be adjusting that for the team that I'm going to be going with. But this is a good start. We'll put it in the box for later. With my new Hawlucha captured, it was time to seek out a second member for my team. You see, in Season 2 of Ranked Battles, players are allowed to use one legendary Pokemon on their team. And due to this, Xerneas and Yveltal have been dominating games. Of course, Mega Hawlucha wouldn't want to take a Moonblast from Xerneas or an Oblivion Wing from Yveltal, so we'll have to find a teammate that can resist both of those while still being an offensive threat. I saw some Excadrill in Wild Zone 14, and getting a huge Alpha Excadrill could do wonders for hitting many opponents with that massive Earthquake it's capable of. Okay, next up, I guess Mega Delphox and I are going to have to go find an Excadrill. Now, the reason I want an Excadrill for my team is because in the new season of Ranked Battles, you're actually allowed to use Xerneas and Yveltal, and a lot of players have been using Xerneas recently. I'll be using Xerneas myself for my final Pokemon, but I want to have a Pokemon that can take on Xerneas as well as the Steel types that other people are using to take it on. I think Excadrill is just that. That being said, Excadrill is a Pokemon that really loves clicking Earthquake, and a huge Earthquake would be great, so we're going to be going for an Alpha Excadrill as well. So I set off for Wild Area 14, and to my luck, there was an Alpha Excadrill just sitting right there. And just like that, the first Excadrill we find is the Alpha. Let's see if we can use Heracross here. Take it on. And what Pokeball do I want to use for this? I'm thinking the Heavy Ball could be interesting, or even the Sports Ball. Even the Sport Ball could be cool. All right, let's deal with the first Excadrill, and then we'll deal with this one as well as soon as our Brick Break is off a cooldown. And now we should be able to take on Excadrill in a way that's a little bit more feasible. I'm going to go for a Bulk Up here, as it's going to go for Focus Blast. We'll go for plus Brick Break. Deal a pretty good amount of damage. Mega Horn. And we should be able to Brick Break again. And now, let's get that Heavy Ball out. See if we can catch it. Nice. Hey, it even dropped a Seed of Mastery for us, which we can use to train our Pokemon later, as well as these XP candies. Alright, good job, Heracross. Taking a look at the Excadrill that we caught. It's an alpha, it's a female, it's got a neutral nature, so bashful nature, that's going to make it so nothing is boosted. And, of course, it's got that maxed out HP stat, which is really useful. It's also got best attack, best HP, best special attack, and very good special defense, decent defense, and pretty good speed. So we will be hyper training both of these up. Having captured my Alpha Excadrill, I realized that not only would it do well into the many Xerneas in ranked matches, but it could deal with the many Steel type Pokemon picking up in usage due to Xerneas' popularity. Really, it's just a solid call overall. But how should I train these two? Well, luckily, Pokemon centers all over the region sell items I can use to boost their stats. And with me being as clumsy as I am, I would need to explore a little bit to fix an error I made while training my Hawlucha. Now, I do want to increase my Hawlucha's defense by about 6 irons worth. Oh, wait. Looks like we trained that Pokemon wrong, but that is something we can fix very easily just by exploring the city a little bit and finding a vendor that I know can help us out. There's a little market located right about here that we can travel to, and what that's going to allow us to do is buy some berries to actually get rid of some of that defense that we actually don't want in our Hawlucha. I meant to put that all in my Excadrill, so small mistakes, but luckily we can explore Kalos and find some solutions to that small issue. Oh, and while we're here, I'm going to go ahead and buy a Shuka Berry that we'll be using later on. Let's see if we can avoid getting into some fights here and talk to one of the salesmen. There you are. Ah, there it is. So we're actually looking for the Pomeg Berry, and we're gonna have to get 6 of those since we accidentally gave our Hawlucha 6 iron. All right, and just like that, if we can escape this wild area, we should be able to fix our Hawlucha. With that settled, I headed to this wild zone to KO wild Pokemon and increase my Pokemon's attack stats. We're going to go ahead and pick a fight with everything here that gives attack. Aqua Jet you. Go ahead and surf all these guys, get them all at once. And this should be a pretty efficient way to train the attack stats on our Pokemon. We're actually going to head back to that market that we bought the Shuka Berry at, because there are some more items that we can get to finish our team there. Specifically, what we're going to need are 2 Adamant Mints. Now, this is going to make it so our Excadrill and our Hawlucha have a slightly increased attack stat at the cost of their special attack stat. But that's fine because we're actually not using their special attack stat at all. Now, what we're going to need to do is get these 2 Pokemon up to level 50. That way we can hyper train some of their stats. Those stats that we saw with Judge feature weren't best yet. Luckily for me, I do have some rare candies to take care of that. Excadrill is only going to be needing 2 of them, and Hawlucha is going to be needing 18. Now, I want to teach my Hawlucha Brave Bird, but I'm going to have to level it up 2 more times to get to the point where it learns that move. And as you can see there, Hawlucha is going to get the idea for a new move, and that's going to be Brave Bird. Let's go ahead and replace Poison Jab for that. Along with that, I've noticed a lot of people online have been using the moves Light Screen and Reflect in Season 2. So in order to counteract that, I'm actually going to run the move Brick Break. Now, Brick Break is a fighting type move that Hawlucha learns, but it's also going to be able to remove the screens on the field, meaning that it'll be dealing the normal amount of damage rather than the reduced damage from the screens. Swords Dance will also allow us to increase our attack stat for a short amount of time, so that's going to be really useful for taking KOs against a lot of Pokemon. Finally, our last move on Hawlucha is going to be Thunder Punch, because I've noticed that with Xerneas being super common, a lot of players have been opting to try out Skarmory to deal with it, and I want to make sure I can deal with that Pokemon, as well as Gyarados, which is a super common Pokemon online right now. As for Excadrill, we're going to be running Earthquake as our primary move, as that hits a lot of Pokemon on the field, and it's going to allow us to deal super effective damage to Steel types. We'll be running Drill Run, as it allows us to close the gap and enter battles easier, Swords Dance to boost our attack set, and our final move is going to be Iron Head to make sure that we can take on Xerneas a lot easier. There we go. With these two trained, I realized that I had two physical attackers on my team, and neither of them particularly liked going up against Garchomp, who had been a strong pick in ranked battles. But this wasn't an issue. Like I said, in Season 2 of ranked battles, trainers would be able to use one legendary Pokemon per team, and my Pokemon, of course, would be Xerneas. Now, I've already been dipping my toes into ranked with Xerneas, so this Xerneas is fully trained already. We're running a max HP, max defense with a little bit of special attack and a modest nature. That's going to make it so Xerneas takes a little bit less damage from a lot of the physical attackers that are going around in ranked battles right now. And we're also going to be running the Babiri Berry, because the Babiri Berry makes it so Heavy Slam from Metagross, Iron Head from Excadrill, those are going to be doing half as much damage as they usually would the first time that they hit Xerneas, which is really great. It's going to make it easier to set up our Calm Mind and go for big damage with Moonblast and Thunderbolt, as well as Dazzling Gleam. All right, let's use some Seeds of Mastery to make sure that we get plus moves on all of our Pokemon. And right next to this trainer, we can actually go ahead and do some hyper training. And with that, we can go ahead and place these Pokemon on our team, but there is just one more step we need to take care of, and that's going to be giving them their items. The Xerneas, like I said, I already trained to have the Babiri Berry with max HP, max defense, and some special attack. But for the Excadrill to take on all the other Excadrill and Garchomp and other ground-type Pokemon on the ladder, we're going to go ahead and give it the Shuca Berry that we found earlier. This item is going to cut the damage from a super effective ground-type attack in half, making it easier for Excadrill to survive those hits. And of course, we need to give our Hawlucha its Hawlucha to make sure it can actually Mega Evolve and obtain that form. And with that, our team is done and we can begin our climb to rank A. Now that our team is totally ready for online ranked battles, I can begin my climb from rank Z to rank A. But first, let's take a little fashion break and let everyone online know just how much I love Hawlucha. I traveled to all the different malls in the city to find an outfit that screams Hawlucha. I mean, of course, we have to get a new picture, right? That looks pretty good. I mean, look, it's kind of like we're hitting the same pose as it. Well, now that we've defeated another Hawlucha, I think it's time to take this thing online. All right. Let's try out ranked. Now, I like to lead off Excadrill because I know for a fact with all the Xerneas running around, there's going to be Xerneas and, of course, Metagross. We're going to use this Metagross and I'm going to Swords Dance on it. And then I'm going to attempt to Drill Run to close the gap and get some huge damage. We're going to Earthquake now. And as you can see, we're able to knock it out. Wow, thanks to the way that we trained this Excadrill, we were actually able to survive that flamethrower, but that Boom Burst is going to go ahead and KO our Excadrill, which is a little bit unfortunate, but it's a good start. So far, Excadrill is really carrying its share of the workload. All right, we're going to take this opportunity to Swords Dance up. And I may be able to go for a plus Brave Bird into this Gardevoir and take a KO. Yes, I am. We can Thunder Punch here. Not quite enough for a KO. I'm going to have to try to avoid getting knocked out here. And that is a Xerneas. I'm going to go ahead and switch right into my Excadrill. And we'll be going for a Swords Dance to boost our attack stat. And we see another Excadrill. I will be going for Earthquake with a plus move to take that KO. And it's time to send out our Xerneas since it has a better matchup into everything around us. I do see you right there. All right. Out comes Excadrill. Let's see if we can go for plus Iron Head for a KO. And we do manage to take that knockout. Go for plus Earthquake. Get huge damage. And let's go ahead and go into our Hawlucha. And we'll go for the Brave Bird. Let's see if we can KO this Gardevoir. Oh no. Oh, we do manage to Thunder Punch that Greninja at the last second. All right. We managed to take first place there, which is incredible because that's going to net us a lot of points. My first games went super well, with me getting first place in a few of my matches, letting me quickly climb the ranks. Something I realized I needed to improve on was definitely my timing of my switches. My opponents would wait to switch out their Pokemon until they saw what move I was about to use, meaning that if they had fast enough reflexes, they could choose the best Pokemon to take the hit. I, on the other hand, would just guess every single time, and sometimes it would end up backfiring. Go for a plus Earthquake. And we lose the exchange, unfortunately. Mega Pokemon are strong. Mega Pokemon are strong. Excadrill was excellent in my matches since there were many Metagross online ready to take on Xerneas. I would just run right up to them at the beginning of the match and click Swords Dance rather than attack to bait out a switch. Then I would go for as much damage as I could with Drill Run, Iron Head, or Earthquake. Alright, we have a Metagross to our right again. That's my favorite thing to see, because I can just go ahead and go for an Earthquake. And a Drill Run to follow it up. As they decide to switch, smart on them. Even Mega Hawlucha got some decent usage, with Brick Break being a smart call. Tons of players have been opting to run Light Screen and Reflect on Pokemon, then switching in Xerneas or Yveltal to maximize their survivability. Eventually, through some hard work and tough matches, I managed to climb all the way to rank A. Alright, we've reached A rank, which is something I'm very proud of. I mean, I'm glad I was able to do it with Mega Hawlucha, my favorite Mega from this game. Up here is where matches became much more competitive, as everyone had already completed their climbs. I had a tougher time getting first or second place, but that's to be expected, with everyone here being more experienced with this new battle system. Looks like they were Shukaberry, or rather Babiri Berry. And it looks like this game, A rank's a bit more challenging. Didn't manage to win that one. Let's see if we can get an incredible Hawlucha game. See an Yveltal to my left, and again a Metagross to my right. I love Swords Dancing on the Metagrosses. They go for that. I should be able to Iron Head pretty easily. And we'll go ahead and immediately switch into our Xerneas and go for our Moonblast. We'll switch into Scolipede, but we can switch into our Hawlucha. And I'll be Swords Dancing here. They decide to Mega Horn, interestingly enough. Greybird? We'll take that KO. There is a Pikachu here. You can Drill Run. And we do manage to pick it up. Our Excadrill's burned, though. We're gonna have to find a healing item and use this tree for cover. I don't think we're winning this exchange, though. Yep. We go down. It's Swords Dance. I'll be going for a Thunder Punch. Oh. Didn't quite close the distance there. Go for a plus Brave Bird. Don't dodge the Oblivion Wing, though. Can plus Iron Head take you out. You can chase it with the Drill Run. We do catch the B-Drill, and we can Earthquake here. Get that KO. Go into my Hawlucha. Go for a plus Brave Bird. See if we win this exchange. They switch into the Yveltal, and we get KO'd by a Thunderbolt. Oh, it was Pikachu. Really funny to see a Pikachu putting in work all the way up here. We go for a plus Brick Break, and then a Brave Bird right after, I think. Oh, okay. And we get hit with the Oblivion Wing. Well, actually, I could just click Dazzling Gleam. Moonblast. Take that KO. Switch to my Hawlucha. Go for a plus Brave Bird. Can I win this exchange? What just hit me? It was Pikachu. Just 10 more seconds. 10 more seconds and we'll be fine. Go for a plus Moonblast in this Pikachu. Can I connect? Yes, we do connect, and that should secure us the win. Which if I switch into Hawlucha here, no, Scolipede, you won't be able to hit me. All right. That was pretty good. All right, I'm pretty satisfied with how well this team performed. I'm really glad that Mega Hawlucha was able to put in some work versus Pokemon like Tyranitar. As you can see, like the Thunder Punch was also pretty useful into some Yveltals and some Gyarados. And of course, you know, Excadrill is carrying the team a lot with being able to hit not only Metagross, but every Steel type in the game, and even being able to hit Xerneas for super effective Iron Heads. And I'm also really happy we didn't have to rely too much on Xerneas itself, even though Xerneas is a very powerful legendary Pokemon. I'm glad that the Hawlucha and the Excadrill were able to carry their weight. That was a lot of fun, but clearly I have a lot to learn about these new real-time battles, but it's been such a fun journey so far. And you can join me on this journey, explore Lumiose City and take on new Mega Pokemon in real-time battles and Pokémon Legends ZA for Nintendo Switch 2. And thanks again to Nintendo for sponsoring this video.